Monday evening to you. Welcome to Diamond Niners Weekly for Week 7 of the 2023 season. I am Nick, joined as always by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad, making it all work.
Hey.
And special guest tonight, the one, the only, the pitching coordinator for the Charlotte 49ers, Coach Michael O.
What's up, everyone?
Or as we are fond of calling him, Coach O.
Go Niners.
Oh, man. What is up, Coach O, man? It's so good to have you on. Appreciate you making some time for us. We got a lot of cool baseball to talk to everybody about this week. But, man, we got to start with you, man, because you've been on this show before. But last time we talked to you on here, you were pitching for the Niners. Now you're in the dugout. You're coaching first base. You're working with pitchers. What's up with that, man?
Man, it's been crazy. It's pretty cool. Obviously, I played with a good amount of the guys on the team right now that I'm, coaching. And obviously played for the coaching staff last year, and now I get to coach with them, hang out with them and learn from them like every day. And so it's been a really cool transition. It happened really fast, obviously, kind of just how it transpired from, kind of summer going into fall. But, it was as smooth as it could be. And I'm just really happy to be here.
Is there some kind of secret handshake that they taught you once you became one of them? Is there like a secret something?
No. And if there is, they haven't told me yet. So I guess I need to get a year in or something.
Maybe Kevin. I feel like there probably is a secret handshake. They're just holding out on him.
I don't know with that group. I don't know if they got anything cool like that. But Coach, you said it did happen fast. Yeah, this summer you were out pitching in State College in the was it Prospect League run by
Draft League.
The MLB Draft League, yeah,
run by MLB.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that experience before we get into the Niners here.
Man, that was awesome. I think Coach Bick helped a ton with getting, the seniors without any eligibility left. So it was me, Will Lancaster, and Josh Madole. And we got assigned to State College. I really had no idea what to expect. It was like one of the best experiences I had playing baseball, to be honest. Like, it was just super relaxed. Competition was pretty good. Like, we were traveling. It was kind of chaotic. It kind of reminded me of junior college, to be honest. But no, it was a great time. And our host fam and everything was like, couldn't have asked for a better setup, and got to hang out with my best friend. So it was awesome.
Pretty cool. So now that you've transitioned onto staff, pitching coordinator, how would you define your role for us?
I would say just like it's a lot of collaboration between Coach Witter and I. We'll kind of just go over the macro of what we want to accomplish with each guy on the staff, and then in terms of the day-to-day and building the throwing programs and stuff like that, he kind of just hands it off to me. Which was interesting at first. I didn't expect to have this much, freedom right away. But he really trusted me and just allowed me to have, my say, and was very open-minded. And, we kind of just made a plan, and each guy had something that we wanted to work on them. And we just kind of took it day by day. And it's been awesome.
So we've noticed you're also coaching some first base over there. How do you feel like that's going? Is that something you're enjoying, or that's just other duties as assigned?
That's probably been the most surprising thing, I guess, all year. It's been so much fun, being just a part of the game, so frequently, especially when we're hitting. You just see Cam Fisher hit 13 home runs on the field. you know, just trying my best not to like mess anybody up also, you know, just like whatever Coach Bick, Coach Wood are telling me to say to them, like I'm going to say it, encourage them, and then like make sure I don't say anything stupid, I guess.
Well, I don't think we had anybody picked off right at first base, so I think you're doing pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think so far so good. Knock on wood.
Knock on some wood, yeah. I am coaching first base for my son's team. Any pointers for me to look for out there as a first base coach?
If you're playing on turf and it has rained earlier that day, tell them to slide early and hold on to the bag.
Okay.
That's yeah. Something I learned.
One lesson learned. All right.
Hey, can I give you one piece of advice, Coach O?
Of course.
I feel like you're doing a great job handling our runners, but I'm gonna need to add some duties to your responsibilities over there. I'm gonna need you to make sure that the umpires are out of the way. Can you do that?
Yeah.
And hey,
man.
make sure they're paying attention.
I'll try my best next time for sure. That was insane. I've never seen anything like that before. It is what it is, you know, like you can't do anything about it, but that was just like, I mean, looking back at it now, it's like pretty funny, but like in the moment I was like, are you serious, dude? Like, what are you doing?
For those of you that missed it, the Sunday game, Austin Knight legged out. He was legging out what ultimately was ruled as reaching on error, but the ball got away from the first baseman and wound up over by the fence. And he rounded first, headed for second, and promptly ran right into first base umpire. Pretty good form tackle by Blue. But honestly, and you were a lot closer to it than I was, Mike, but I think he was stunned because Austin hit him with a pretty good head of steam. And ultimately the crazy part was Austin ended up being called out because he couldn't get back to first base quickly enough after running over the first base umpire. I mean, what are you thinking while all this is going on? This is basically all happening at your feet.
I mean, I might need like a checkup on the rules or something. But I just remember seeing the ball get by, and maybe it's on me. I'm telling Austin like go to, and then next thing I know, like him and the umpire are both on the ground. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I guess he ran into him. I didn't even see him like collide. And then the umpire was like, well, there's no such thing as umpire's interference. And I was like, well, there should be, because somebody was in the way. So that was an interesting thing, I guess.
So what I'm hearing is I need, as a first base coach for my son's team, I need to take into account where the umpire is standing before I send someone to second base. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
or just tell the umpire where to stand, Kevin. Tell him to get out of your way. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I tell you what, we'll come back to Sunday's game. I promise you, we're going to talk about yesterday's game, but let's get into talking about some baseball this week because for some reason, I feel like as pitching coordinator, you're going to have a lot to say about the pitching performances we saw this week from the Niners. Let's go back to last Tuesday night. The Niners take on the various ranked South Carolina Gamecocks at Truist Field in Uptown Charlotte. Great night at the ballpark. The weather ended up being much better than I was thinking it was going to be initially. But what we saw on the pitching front, Coach O, is a heck of a start from Colin Kramer. 5 innings, 0 earned runs, scattered 2 hits, 8 strikeouts against 5 walks. Heck of a start from Kramer. And the Niners offense had a big 3rd inning, including Cam Fisher. Cam hit a ball so hard that he hit the foul pole and he broke the Chick-fil-A ad on the foul pole. In the end, Niners get the victory 6-2. I mean, you can't ask for a better night than that, Coach. It's an SEC win, a ranked win in the best in the best AAA ballpark in America.
Yeah, that was I mean, if you want to talk about, I guess like one of the perks about being the first base coach is like you get to see like stuff like that from like that perspective, like seeing like Cam Fisher's home run, like from that angle, like during that game against that opponent, like it was like probably one of the coolest things I've experienced so far, like as a coach. Um, let alone Colin just like carving for 5 innings straight. And like he's battle tested, like he's been through the ringer of it all. Like he has experience, like he has great stuff, and like he works really hard. And like that was like kind of like I feel like his like moment this year so far where like he's like, yeah, like I am this good, like this is what I'm capable of. I think everybody on the team knew it too. And like, him starting, like it gave a lot of confidence to just the entire team. That we were just able to kind of just go in and go, toe to toe with one of the best teams in the country. And kind of just show them that like we're right there with them. Obviously, like just the whole atmosphere, the crowd, like everything really about that night was just like awesome. Like, that was probably the coolest experience I've had as a coach so far. In the 3 months that I've been on in season.
Of the 23 games that you've coached, this was your favorite.
Definitely.
Not only were they a top-ranked team, they're one of the best offenses in the country. I think they came into the game leading the country in homers, leading the country in runs scored, and Kramer just went out there and shut them out for 5 innings. We ended up giving up 2 earned runs as Danye gave one up and Spoyo gave up one. Can't ask for more than that from a pitching staff, giving up 2 earned runs to one of the nation's most potent offenses. Talk a little bit about the pitching staff performance as a whole in that game.
Yeah, I think it was like, if I could like, I guess describe it in one word, it was kind of just like fearless. Like every single person just like, they didn't really care who was in the other dugout. Like they just like wanted to prove to themselves almost like, this is how good I can be. And they showed it, like every single person that went out there, Colin, Donnie, and then Andrew. And like we knew they would perform too. Like we had like the most trust in them. I think everybody on the team did as well. And so like to kind of see their confidence and like all the preparation they had like leading up to like that game and those moments or whatever it may be, like that was really cool, like on the coaching side to see like their hard work like pay off. Granted it was just one game, but it's pretty special to see, and I think we're going to see more success out of them like later on in the season for sure.
Yeah, really, really well-rounded game from the staff. Blake Jackson also had 2 hits and a ribby. Jack Dragum had 2 hits and a ribby. Austin Knight had a pair of hits. Spencer Nolan had RBI. Hop had a pair of hits. So you got a lot of production from a lot of guys on both sides of things. And ultimately, great night in Uptown. We had a lot of fun sitting behind the dugout. And from what I'm told, and I've heard rumors of maybe some video floating around out there, but sounds like you guys, including Coach Woodard, had quite a celebration in the locker room there after the game. So I don't know, maybe eventually video will surface of some things that happened. I don't know. We'll see. Right.
Yeah, maybe. That was
I've heard rumors. That's all I'm saying. I've heard rumors. Yeah. So it was a good night. I think we all, it felt like the team needed that right then because the guys have been doing the right things, preparing the right way, and it was just a matter of time before all that came together. You've had some games where you pitched but maybe didn't hit, and you hit didn't pitch, but Tuesday night it all came together. And I mean, hey, when you beat, I guess we can go with, I guess at least one outlet had them ranked 4th. I think they're ranked more accurately 11th or so, but top 15 win either way. You can't complain about that. That's awesome. So then headed back to the Hayes for the weekend, second weekend of Conference USA play. Coach O, it didn't get any easier playing an SEC opponent on Tuesday, but then coming home to host a brand new member of Conference USA in Dallas Baptist. And we talked to Coach Bick about Dallas Baptist, and I think his quote was something like, "If you don't know about Dallas Baptist as a college baseball program, you've been living under a rock or something." And we got a good look at them this weekend, and particularly from a pitching perspective, they were as advertised. They had dudes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, Coach Vick is definitely right about that. I mean, Dallas Baptist and Coach Schiefner's club, and I always knew them for what they did on the pitching side. I went to Texas Baseball Ranch in 2014, 2015, and this is when Wes Johnson, who's the pitching coach for LSU, he was the pitching coach of Dallas Baptist, and he was also, someone who would help train the guys and just like give advice and whatnot at Texas Baseball Ranch that summer. And so like that's how I kind of got introduced to like new school of baseball and kind of connected the dots of like, oh, like this is how they train there with Wes. And so, like I've kind of known of their program for a while. They obviously do good stuff. They're like a very good program, year in, year out, like just incredibly consistent. And so, yeah, like we knew we were up for a challenge. And, obviously, they're known for their arms. Ryan Johnson, like, had an incredible Friday night. Like, he's just, like, really impressive pitcher, good stuff, and, attacked with a lot of strikes and, like, never really let up. And so, yeah, like, it's we knew what we were getting ourselves into. And but we were ready. We were ready. Obviously, not the outcome that we wanted, but I think it kind of showed the toughness of our team, but also like we know that the outcomes could have been very different within maybe a few pitches or a few plays or whatever it may have been. Like we were right there with them, and I think that says something about our program, but don't want to discredit like how, good that program is and, how consistent they are really every year.
And Wyatt threw well for us Friday night. I think it was his third quality start, second in a row. Allowed 2 earned runs over 7 innings. I think he was up to 103 pitches. Looked really good again. It's the first time I've seen him since his record-breaking performance, but he got 9 Ks on the day. Just had one mishap in the field. It kind of cost us a little bit, but I thought he pitched well overall. But yeah, just Ryan Johnson was after he gave up the 2-run homer to Cam. I think they said he retired 20 straight batters. Just couldn't get the timely hits off him late in the game. But yeah, close game, kind of a pitcher's duel all night Friday night, and the Niners fell on the short end of it, but it was a good baseball game to watch, and certainly good on the pitching side. Looked like. Yeah.
It was it's kind of like it's just like baseball. Like there's just ebbs and flows, like, and it's not. I guess it's not like our job to be like too reactionary to things and kind of just like help the guys, get better and figure out ways they can improve. And, it's really good to see, like, just from the pitching side, like the guys, like taking the steps, taking their strides and also like gaining confidence and like realizing like, hey, like I am like this good, like I am capable of this. And, it really spreads throughout the entire pitching staff. And like, I think we kind of got that swagger now, like the confidence and, we have the work ethic to back it up also. And that's really cool on my end too. Just like seeing that and, just like helping in whatever way I can with these guys. Like they're ready and like our best pitching, our best baseball, like hasn't even happened yet. Which is pretty cool.
My comment coming off Friday night, talking to people, is just like, sometimes you just get beat, and that's what happened. It's not like, I don't feel like really we played poorly at all at any particular time this weekend. But I mean, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. I mean, Ryan Johnson, as you said, I mean, just tip your cap. I mean, that's what else can you do? Wyatt held his own again. It didn't work out, but I mean, that's, as you said, that's just baseball. You brought up having the chance to be on the field for some of these things that happen. So that ball that Cam hit on Friday night, that was over the scoreboard, right? I mean, that thing was, it may not have landed yet. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it did, honestly. That was absolutely crushed. That was insane. Like, it was kind of one of those things where you kind of just watch it happen. Like, I don't even know why I turned my head. I think I just wanted to see where it landed. Like, I knew it was a home run right when he hit it. But yeah, he's something special. Like, works his tail off. Like, probably like the best teammate, and just like the best dude. And so, like, to see like his success and like see it on the field as a first base coach, it's pretty sweet. So that's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's tied for third in the country right now, 13 homers. That's very impressive. Having a great year in the batter's box and holding his own defensively out there as well. Great to see the hard work come to fruition for Cam so far this season.
Yeah.
Now, Saturday, Coach, had to be right up your alley as a pitching guy, because on both sides, again, the best way I think to describe Saturday's game at the Hayes was they got to us in one inning and we got to them in one inning. And other than that, there's 16 zeros on the board, and their inning that they got to us just happened to be a little bit better than the one where we got to them. And they got 4, we got 2, and Cam hit another home run, which that one may have been more impressive than the one over the scoreboard, because he hit it dead into the wind, straight out the center.
Yep.
He's just, it looks like the baseball must look like a beach ball to him right now. But the pitching, the Niners gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but after that we gave up 1 hit. Unbelievable. I mean, when you got to the second inning on, the pitching performance, Sam started the game, settled down, and gave you another inning plus. And then Andrew Spolyar went 5.1 of just, I mean, 5.1 innings of one hit baseball, and then Evan Michelson gave you one no hit inning. Incredible performance on the mound, really, and you got a little bit of offense, and it's just, again, kind of what I said about Friday. You just got, sometimes you just get beat, and that's kind of what happened again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even on the offensive side, like Fish's home run, if you look at how the wind was playing, like, that was incredibly impressive. But also, like, the amount of hard hit balls from Blake, Caden, you name it, that just kind of like died off and went right to a guy. Like, we were never like, out of the game or whatever. Like, we were just like, we were squaring up baseballs that were not falling. And again, that's just like part of the game, that's going to happen. And yeah, on terms of pitching side, like, I don't think I could have, you could have asked for really anything better in terms of just like grit and competitiveness. Like, Andrew Spolyar, I mean, he threw 40 pitches on Tuesday against South Carolina, got the save, comes back and throws 80, Saturday against Dallas Baptist, against a really good lineup, and just goes, 1 hit. Like, that's, I mean, like, he's got it in him, and it's really cool to see. And, even Sam too, like, it was like, like, he had, first, like, the first third of the first inning, like, it was tough, but after that, like, he rolled. and he was normal Sam Conti, and he was dicing and he was attacking guys with his best stuff. And then Evan Michelson, obviously, he's been really important for us in the bullpen. He just came in and did his thing also. And so, regardless of outcome, like, it's important to see just like, process wise, like, are our guys getting better? Are they still competing? Like, is there stuff, staying the same, if not better? And are they making the most out of their outings? And, I think you could check all the boxes for that. And so, losing is never fun. And obviously it's probably the most important thing in season. But in terms of what we control, what we can't control on the process side, we took really big strides this weekend. So it's something to be, excited about and optimistic for, looking forward, for sure.
Coach, you talked about Spoiler. Tuesday night, he was one strike away 3 or 4 different times, it seemed like, in the last inning.
Mm-hmm.
And he gutted it out and got that final out. And you could tell the confidence the staff had with him. Let him out there, let him finish that out, because he was so close several times, and he finally got the nail in the coffin on South Carolina with the tying run on at the plate. And then he comes back and has a one-hit performance on Saturday. Talk a little bit about him on a day-to-day basis with this pitching staff. Kind of what's he like day-to-day working with?
He's like, the most consistent, like, self-sufficient dude, like, ever. Like, honestly, like, I always joke around with him, like, dude, like, I would trust you, like, with all the money I have. Like, I just feel like you would know what to do with it, and you would be the smartest about it. That's just like who he is. Like, every day, like, he's the same person, goes about his business like a professional. Like, doesn't complain, works his butt off. Like, it's just like, just day to day, just shows up and does what he needs to do. And, like, in all honesty, like, doesn't need much coaching, like, I don't need to step in or whatever. Like, he's like, I got it, and he just does it, and he goes about his business the way he feel like he needs to, and it's obviously working out. And it's cool because, like, I think, he's just an example of, like, somebody that other guys on the staff, they look up to and they admire about him. Because he's not like anything, flashy. Doesn't try to do anything like too much or whatever. He just goes out and does his job, and he does it consistently. And that's, you can't really put a value on that. It's just, like, so important to have. So, we're really lucky to have him. That's for sure.
Is he an investments guy too? Maybe we need to get him on here and give us some advice or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he might be. He probably has, like, a well-diversified portfolio, if I had to guess.
Hey,
yeah.
We'll talk about anything on this show. You know that.
Yeah.
We're talking about cards with Colby and Matt, and we'll talk about anything. So, to your point though about the games, winning is the goal, and losing is never fun. And come Saturday night, is kind of at home, just kind of winding down a little bit, and it's like, man, really bummed. Went back and started looking at box scores just to kind of review and process everything that happened. And, I, in a weird way, I maybe to your point here about the performances, kind of started feeling a little better about it, because I think the term you used, we made some strides, and we did, because we know how good Dallas Baptist is, and they showed us how good they are. But and what I said to Kevin, talking to him on the phone later, was if this whole weekend, which we'll talk about Sunday in a minute, obviously, but if you take our performance from this weekend, this whole week, really, these 4 games this week, and graph that onto the rest of the season, forwards or backwards, honestly, you're going to win a lot of games. Because we played at a high level for 4 games this week, and if you replicate that a lot, you're gonna win more than you lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like, yeah, it's something to be optimistic about. Like, the outcome might not be, you know, what we have wanted it to be, but like in terms of
Right.
just like improvement, you see it. And, you know, that's like really exciting because, you know, this is the time to be, you know, if not like going towards like at where you're supposed to be. And we're on track for that. Um, and so, you know, again, like I guess controlling what you can control, like just improving, you know, outing from outing and like week from week as a staff, like we've shown that and we've done that. It's exciting because, you know, these guys, like they've earned it. Like they've worked so hard to make it
Mhm.
happen. And like they knew they were better than what they were performing at. Um, and, you know, now it's just like time to show it. And, you know, every single week they're just getting better. And I don't think it could be happening at a better time than right now, you know, starting conference play and all that stuff. So, um, yeah, like really just like looking forward to like the rest of the year and, you know, feeling good about it and just, you know, whatever I can do to help them, you know, I will.
Well, let's turn the page and talk about Sunday because wins are so much more fun to talk about anyway. But talking about controlling, when you talk about controlling what you can control, Cam Hansen comes to mind because all Cam Hansen controlled on Sunday was the game. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts against 2 walks. Cam Hansen's had some good performances here, including last Sunday, but Sunday might be my favorite performance of Cam Hansen's.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that dude, I mean, same with, you know, if you want to say same with like Andrew, like just like in terms of consistent work and just like showing up, like, I mean, if you want to talk about last year, like he knew that he was better than what he showed last year. And like the amount of like dedication and effort he put into all summer, all fall, all preseason to like be where he is right now, like it's like no surprise to me or our coaching staff or really his teammates, honestly. Like you just see like the work that he's put in consistently to get where he is. And let alone not just that, like the confidence that he has on the mound too. You know, like he knows he works hard. He knows his stuff is good. Like he knows like nothing's really gonna rattle him. And so like he just went out there with like a bulldog mentality and he just did his thing. You know, not just against the batters, but controlling the running game, controlling, you know, really the momentum of the game. Like it was like in his hands the entire time and like he did not let go of it. Yeah, and that was probably one of the coolest like pitching performances I've seen. Like granted, like I knew him as, you know, a teammate last year. And so, you know, I know how hard he works and how much he cares. And so like to see that performance against, you know, a Dallas Baptist lineup, like that was pretty awesome.
Right, and to do it 2 weeks in a row, getting really consistent with it. Great to see those performances out of Cam. I said last year, sometimes he had kind of rough patch last year a little bit, but he's been really consistent this year and it's come up big for us. And last week we needed that to win the series. We needed a great pitching performance. We got it, and then this week we needed to get one. And we gave him the ball and he got us one win we desperately needed this weekend. So great to see that from Cam. Looking forward to seeing next week, taking the show on the road again.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
My favorite part about the offensive side of yesterday's game is that I mean, everybody's used to this team, this ability to score runs. And we've proven it over and over again. We can score runs, and that conversation always includes. We love talking about the things that Cam Fisher does with the bat. But really cool thing about yesterday's 8 runs is we only had 1 extra base hit, and it was a double from Caden Hobson. Other than that, we've scored 8 runs. Basically just by taking the balls that you talked about earlier that kept falling into their gloves, just they didn't yesterday. They found grass. And we found those. We got the singles that we needed. We actually had 10 walks on top of that. So we had a lot of base runners yesterday. 10 walks combined with some timely singles, some timely hitting, and we put 8 runs together to their 1. That's encouraging from an offensive standpoint as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to talk about just like the discipline and like the understanding of the zone that our batters have, it's really impressive. I know you could talk about Cam Fisher for days, but he got intentionally walked twice. So, the runs had to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And, I think it kind of just highlighted like our offense's ability to just create runs, get batters on base and then just create runs, like run creation. It's like an art in a way. And, our offense is really good at that. And obviously that's a credit to, Phil and Toby, and Coach Woodard, and just like them understanding each guy's strengths, how they set up the lineup, and our guys' ability alone. It's cool to see. It's kind of just like good baseball, if you want to talk about walks or, maybe a flare that just out of reach of a guy's glove, whatever it may be, the best baseball teams, they take what the game gives you. And I think we were the best at that, yesterday. And we came out on top, obviously on top of a good pitching performance as well.
And, I hate to invoke soccer on this show at all, but, in soccer, they do aggregate, and if you add up the aggregate for the weekend, we took that. That's all that counts.
Man,
right?
I don't know anything about soccer, but
neither do we. Neither do we. But I'm told it's a thing.
Well, yeah, 12-11. We scored 12. They scored 11. So that's a victory, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. A win's a win.
A win is a win. So let's turn the corner a little bit because we've got another big week. 2-2 on the week with 2 big wins, and now we've got to turn the corner for what will be another challenging week. This schedule, pulling the current data just to make sure I have it right. This schedule that the staff put together is strength of schedule currently at 7. If you break it out just by non-conference, it's actually an SOS of 3. So fans that are, thinking about the type of competition that we're playing, we've got one of the best schedules in the country. There's no doubt about that. And that's not going to get any easier in the midweek either. When we are going to be playing Gardner Webb, who's coming in 15-8. It might be one of those games where you say, oh, well, Gardner Webb. But, I know you mentioned earlier that you guys have been doing some scouting for tomorrow night. What can you tell us to expect out of Gardner Webb rolling into the Hayes tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, they're a scrappy team. They're good. They're playing well right now. And if you know anything about college baseball, having momentum on your side is a really important thing. And so that's something to take into account for sure. They're a good team. They're a good team, and they're going to hit throughout the lineup. They're going to run a good amount. So we're going to have to do a good job of controlling the running game and, getting ahead and making quality pitches with 2 strikes. We've done a good job of that the last, few days, especially with Dallas Baptist, who runs a ton. I think we're more than ready. And it's going to be a good one for sure. So I'm looking forward to it.
And we got I just saw the game notes. Looks like we're going with Kramer on the mound again for the midweek.
Mm-hmm.
Guy we have a lot of confidence in. Seems like be a good spot for him tomorrow at the Hayes.
Oh yeah, he's ready to go for sure. So expecting another good one out of him and whoever else comes in the game after him.
just grabbing a quick look at the schedule. I'm assuming that game is going to be on ESPN Plus for you tomorrow night.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, 6:00, ESPN Plus. But better way to do it is just go to the Hayes. Come out, and it's a Tuesday night. I mean, why not? Come out to the park, maybe grab a cold one.
Let's see if any promos are tomorrow. Let's check the promo schedule.
Oh, Kevin, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but Kevin is Mr. Promotional Schedule.
There's nothing listed on the promo schedule, so it's
okay, nothing on the promo schedule. He's all over that though.
You get to see Niner baseball, and you get to see Colin Kramer show up tomorrow. So that's your enticement to go to see the Hayes tomorrow.
I'm not sure what else you could want. If that doesn't get you out, I don't know what. But if you're not able to make it, check us out on ESPN Plus. Now, and Coach, we're going to get your comment on the weekend coming up. But I'm going to do some good news, bad news with everybody. The good news is the Niners are playing baseball this weekend. In fact, we're playing at UAB. The only bad news I have to offer you is that we're planning that the games are being broadcast on Conference USA TV. I'm sorry about that. There's just a few weekends left. We've migrated so much over there. There's just a few weekends left of Conference USA TV.
Yeah, about $20 more. $20 more, and we'll get through the season. About
$20 more worth, and you'll be done with Conference USA TV forever, and we'll just be on ESPN Plus in the American. I think I don't remember if we've mentioned this before, but if not, it's worth saying again. Kudos to our athletic department getting our games on ESPN Plus. In fact, they did something that a lot of people aren't able to do yet this weekend, or haven't figured out how to do yet at our level, is both baseball and softball were being broadcast on ESPN Plus at the same time. That's big time. That's that's what big schools do, right? So just gut out. What's that?
Virginia Tech. Not Virginia Tech. They don't do that.
Well, that's true. Not Virginia Tech. So, we're actually ahead of some P5 programs on this stuff. So kudos to our AD for making that happen. So we do have this series coming up. It's Friday night, 6:00, Saturday at 3, and then Sunday at 2 down in Birmingham. This will be an important matchup, as all league matchups are. I guess the best way to put it, Coach, and if you got the scout on UAB, is they're not exactly having the kind of season that they would like to be having at this point, but they'd love nothing better than to turn it around against us. So we got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, I'm sure some teams would have been saying the same stuff about us, before we got into conference play. And so, a conference weekend series away, conference weekend series, or really any weekend series in general, it's never to be taken lightly, no matter the opponent.
No.
You have 3 games to play, and, you have to stay locked in no matter what. And, they're still a good program. They are a good program, and, we have to play our best baseball. It's just as simple as that, regardless of whoever they are, right? So it's kind of whatever we need to do to prepare our guys as good as we can this entire week to, be ready for our trip down to Alabama and just be ready to go.
Kevin, just looking at it there, UAB is presently 7-16, 2-4 in the league. Let's see who they got midweek. I can get you that. We can effort that.
I think it's Jackson State.
You are correct. They're playing
Jacksonville
State tomorrow night. So we're playing Gardner Webb. They're playing Jacksonville State. And is that? Nah, I'm gonna mess up. Who's joining Conference USA next year?
I think they might be. They might be. Yeah.
I don't even know.
I think that might be. Not that we care, because we'll be long gone, but they have a midweek against Jacksonville State at the same time we have ours against Gardner Webb, and then we'll get together this weekend. So
it's been a long time since we played down there in Birmingham. In fact, I think this is the first time this coaching staff has been down to played at Birmingham. Because last time we played down there, we had to play at a high school because they had turf field and the UAB had UAB didn't have turf, so they had to get these games in. So they moved it to a high school field, but that had turf, and hopefully we won't have to do that again. I think they got artificial turf installed this year. So first trip out,
it was like a huge storm system had come through, right? And it flooded their field or something like that.
Something like that. It was something crazy, and it was I think it was the last weekend of the season, so they had to get the games in somehow. So that's why they moved it over there. But have you been out to Birmingham before, Coach?
I've not. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, they've got we've got them 6 times this year. So we hadn't played them at Birmingham since 2019, but we're going to get them 6 times in our final season in Conference USA. And they are also coming with us to the AAC next year. So I think we may have played them the most out of because when we started baseball, we were in the same conference with UAB. So we played them quite a few times. I think 66 times we played UABs in the history. So programs that we are familiar with, and we're going to keep playing them in the future too.
Yeah.
It was it's probably UAB, and then we've got a long history with South Florida too, which will resume because we've been playing South Florida since the 70s and early 80s. So you're right, we've got a long history with them. Just taking a look here. Some of the matchups this weekend, kind of some interesting Conference USA stuff. Obviously, here on this show, we're most interested in who the Niners are playing, but Dallas Baptist visiting Louisiana Tech. That's going to be kind of an interesting matchup for Niner fans to watch. The two teams that we've played are now going to play each other. Charlotte and UAB, obviously. San Antonio is hosting Western Kentucky. San Antonio is the team to watch. Kind of interesting. And Coach O will have nothing to comment about this because that's the next opponent. But, San Antonio is sitting on top of the standings. They're always so good and always so tough, and they're sitting on top of the standings again. So, and then we've got them coming in after we visit UAB. So that's worth watching. Kind of another fun series. Rice is going to FAU. Rice is putting together a season so far, Kevin. We have the Rice conversation every year, and I don't think it's time to have the Rice conversation quite yet, but they're looking like a much improved ball club over what we've seen from them the last couple of years.
Right. They're 12-12. They play a hard schedule every year. Similar situation to us. We played a hard schedule. They played a hard schedule. They're around 500. In conference, they've started out 4-2. So everybody's kind of been waiting for them to turn the corner as a program, and looks like they may have turned the corner a little bit here in the early goings of this season. So be interested to see them down the road. I don't think we go there, and then the tournament's there. So we'll see plenty of them later in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last matchup on the docket for Conference USA this week is FIU at Middle Tennessee, but whatever. So looking at the week ahead, it's going to be another interesting challenge for the Niners. Just got to get through this Tuesday night game, get another dub, keep that momentum going. Because, Coach, you talk about momentum, and I got to say, and this is just sort of a general comment, but you really feel like with the Niners, with all the work you guys have done, you're playing your best baseball right now. And I know you've got a different perspective what you're feeling down there in the dugout, but feels like the momentum's real right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, if you want to look at like hitting, pitching, and defense as like three separate factors, like we've shown flashes, of hitting at first, and then it was the pitching, and then the defense, and it's like, we're starting to kind of just put it together, and we couldn't be doing it better at like doing it at the better time than right now, and it just like I think the guys are like getting it too, like they feel it, it's like, college baseball and momentum just kind of go hand in hand. And like when it's on your side, like it's the best thing ever. And when it's away from you, you try your absolute best to get it back on your side. And I think we got some underneath us. And I think the guys feel it, and I think the guys know it. And momentum aside, I think we know how good we can be. We know how good we are. And we know how tough we are too. Like we're not just talented, but like we're a pretty resilient bunch. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that. Just moving forward now from now until the end of the season.
So a couple of comments coming in. One, producer Brad efforted that Jacksonville State Kevin is indeed joining Conference USA after we exit. It's going to be FIU, Jacksonville State, Liberty, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, Sam Houston State, UTEP, and Western Kentucky in Conference USA. And we'll be off to the American. So, whatever. Great comment coming in here for the trip to UAB. Hoping that the bus has a brand new battery. So
curious to get your take on that story, Michael. Did you have to wear red cleats? Red shoes,
did you end up wearing your own shoes?
I did. Well, I did, luckily. Yeah, the coaches ended up being fine. That was crazy. I don't think that was like, it just felt, very junior college, in like the best way possible, just like, just the most like insane circumstances at like the last minute, like bus breaking down Sunday, all of our gear is at the bottom of the bus and we can't open it. Like, of course, and we're traveling that day. Like it was kind of just one of those things where like you can't do anything but like laugh. Like who knows, maybe that like helped us win, like I think the guys were pretty like loose about it. Like it was a cold morning, like our bus wasn't working. We were wearing red or blue cleats, like using the opponent's batting gloves, and we won and took the series. Like it's just kind of one of those things. But yeah, it's definitely an experience I won't forget, and I don't think the guys will forget either.
Yeah.
I guess it's pretty easy to feel like you don't have a whole lot to lose when you're not even wearing your own shoes.
Right.
Yeah. Shout
out to Louisiana Tech too. That was really nice of them for lending their gear. Or else a lot of guys have been playing in gym shoes and turfs. So.
Yeah. For the record, Coach O, we did contact, or we attempted to contact them and ask them how much they wanted for those cleats, and they wouldn't give us a price. So we were trying to buy them.
Oh, Coach, real quick before we get out of here, I was curious. The biggest difference between last year as a player and with these teammates, and then jumping across to being a coach now and a kind of a mentor to those. You were probably in a mentorship role also last year, being an older guy and having a lot of experience on the mound at different colleges. Talk a little bit about the biggest difference from last year's role to this year's role in your opinion.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was like, I think, yes, almost by like default, when you're an older guy, guys are going to look up to you. And that was an important responsibility to have. But I would say like the biggest difference between being a player and being a coach now is like, as a player, like no matter what, you're always going to have so much focus, so much effort into how to make yourself better. Just like innately, you're going to have that. And that was my focus since I started playing. And especially since, I started getting recruited or whatnot in college baseball, and that was my focus, was like, it was maybe selfishly a little bit centered around, how can I get better? Versus now, like, the only difference is like that whole focus has shifted onto the players. And it's like, how can the players get better? How can I make the pitching staff better? How can I make these individuals, just better? And, I think like one of the pleasant surprises of coaching is like, it's kind of made me just like a happier person, I think, because it kind of makes me get out of myself and not worry so much about how I can get better as a player, but like how I can help like other people get better. And just like, kind of building relationships and being on this side and, learning, and also just trying to do stuff that I knew that I would have wanted as a player. It's been really fulfilling, and just, I really couldn't ask for, a better group of players and a better coaching staff to be a part of, my first year of coaching. So, yeah, that's, it's been amazing so far. So,
well, Coach, we here at Diamond Niner Report think that you have a very long and prosperous career ahead of you in baseball for as long as you want it. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and we're glad you're doing it for us. We're gonna let you get out of here, but first, what you got on back there? Is that MLB Network back there?
Actually, I'm in the lobby of my apartment right now, and so I think it's MLB Network, but I actually did not have that on when I came down here. So I think it's just kind of just mere luck. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually glad you realized. I honestly did not even realize the TV was on back there. So like, it could have been something like incredibly inappropriate or something. So this actually works out. This works out great.
It works with it. It works with our theme. It works with our theme well. So good job,
Yeah,
whoever did that.
Honestly, that is the best background of anybody that's been on here, including us. I mean, you've had baseball playing this whole time. I mean, it was. That's
That worked out well.
great,
so,
man.
Yeah, thank God.
You glad it wasn't on Cinemax?
We would have let you know. We would have let you know.
Maybe.
I appreciate that.
All right, folks. Let's put this one in the can. We are all out of time for this week. Look for this podcast wherever you find your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe in order to be notified of new content. You can also find Diamond Niner Report on social media. We do Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but never TikTok. Reach out anytime you'd like. We love hearing from you. If you're old-fashioned like us, just say hello at the ballpark, like tomorrow night. For Kevin, producer Brad, and Coach O, this has been Nick. We'll see you at the Hayes.
See you guys.